Yo, what's good? So I just caught SportsCenter on ESPN, and the entire panel was absolutely losing their minds about multiple massive and interconnected stories that could genuinely reshape the entire NBA landscape with crosstown rivalry implications that would send shockwaves throughout basketball. There's updated seismic reporting emerging that the New York Knicks could realistically pursue Dallas Mavericks superstar point guard Kyrie Irving in what would be an absolutely franchise-altering trade acquisition that brings one of the league's most talented and controversial players to Madison Square Garden. But before diving deep into that explosive Kyrie Irving trade speculation, the SportsCenter crew needs to comprehensively break down exactly why Dallas would even consider trading Kyrie Irving despite him signing a contract extension, and what the complex motivations are behind these legitimate rumors that have emerged. Although Kyrie Irving signed a 3-year contract extension with the Dallas Mavericks back in July 2025, which seemed to cement his long-term future with the organization, the rumors about his potential departure have genuinely resurfaced due to a devastating injury situation and the team's absolutely terrible recent performance, according to the detailed panel analysis. The uncertainty surrounding Kyrie Irving's recovery timeline and the Mavericks' organizational desire to potentially pursue a complete reconstruction are the primary interconnected factors fueling these trade speculations throughout league circles. Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we jump in, let me ask you something that takes 1 second. That like button? Hitting it right now helps this channel more than you know. It's how we reach thousands more fans with this content. Just smash that like button real quick. It's the biggest way you can support what we're building here. Every like matters, so hit it now. Looking at the context of Kyrie Irving's injury and the Mavericks' broader team situation, Irving suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament in his knee back in March 2025, which is one of the most serious injuries a basketball player can sustain. Kyrie Irving has no realistic expectation of returning to game action before 2026, at the absolute earliest, although league sources indicate his rehabilitation and recovery process is progressing ahead of the typical schedule. By the way, real quick, if you're a Knicks fan, check out this insane Knicks cap popping up on the screen right now. It just went on sale until the end of this week, so this is the perfect time to grab yours. And right below, you'll also find other official Knicks products that are absolutely insane. Just click the card that just appeared. Now, let's get back to the video, which is encouraging. But even with an accelerated recovery, Kyrie Irving missing essentially an entire season creates massive uncertainty for Dallas's competitive timeline. The decision regarding potential organizational reconstruction has become a serious consideration. With the Mavericks' genuinely disappointing performance at the start of this season and the shocking dismissal of their general manager Nico Harrison, speculation has emerged throughout NBA circles that the Mavericks' new executive leadership views a possible trade of Kyrie Irving as an ideal strategy to accelerate a rebuild rather than waiting for his return from injury. With Dallas winning the 2025 NBA Draft Lottery and selecting highly touted prospect Cooper Flagg with the first overall pick, the franchise may genuinely be considering reconstructing their entire roster around the young rookie sensation rather than continuing to build around the aging and frequently injured Kyrie Irving. The SportsCenter crew emphasized there are multiple critical considerations the Mavericks organization must evaluate regarding Kyrie Irving's future. The team absolutely must consider Kyrie Irving's substantial value as an experienced veteran leader, even with the current injury situation. When healthy, Irving remains one of the most skilled offensive players in basketball history, with elite ball handling, shooting, and clutch performance ability. But there's also the reality that a young replacement guard like Brandon Williams has already been standing out and showcasing his abilities in Kyrie Irving's absence, which indicates that the organizational transition planning for the post-Kyrie era may already be actively underway, whether publicly acknowledged or not. The ultimate decision by Dallas's front office leadership will also significantly depend on how the overall roster develops and performs during Kyrie Irving's extended absence from the lineup. If the team surprisingly competes well without him, and the young players continue developing ahead of schedule, that might actually accelerate trade discussions rather than slow them down, because it demonstrates the franchise doesn't necessarily need Kyrie Irving to be competitive moving forward. Looking at Kyrie Irving's well-documented history of requesting trades and leaving franchises, there are clear patterns that inform how teams evaluate his long-term commitment. With the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2017, Kyrie Irving explicitly requested to be traded because he wanted a more prominent leadership role, and was genuinely unsatisfied not being the primary focal point of the team while playing alongside LeBron James. That departure caused genuine surprise and deep disappointment throughout the organization and fan base, who thought they had their championship core locked in long-term. With the Brooklyn Nets in 2023, Kyrie Irving requested to be traded after 3.5 tumultuous seasons that were absolutely marked by numerous controversies and playoff disappointments. These included the massive public issues surrounding his refusal to receive COVID-19 vaccination, which caused him to miss significant games, serious accusations of promoting anti-Semitism through social media activity, plus contractual impasses where Brooklyn was hesitant to offer him a long-term maximum extension due to availability concern. That Brooklyn situation deteriorated so completely that both sides ultimately agreed a divorce was necessary. For the New York Knicks specifically, acquiring Kyrie Irving would provide absolutely elite offensive creativity and shot creation ability that would take tremendous pressure off Jalen Brunson as the primary ball handler. The SportsCenter panel emphasized that Kyrie Irving, when healthy and engaged, remains one of the most skilled offensive players in NBA history, with an absolutely unmatched handle and finishing ability around the basket. His experience playing big playoff moments, including hitting the championship-winning shot for Cleveland in 2016, would be invaluable for a Knicks team with genuine title aspiration. Kyrie Irving's ability to create offense in isolation situations and break down defenses one-on-one would give the Knicks a completely different dimension that opposing defenses would have to account for in playoff series. When you have both Jalen Brunson and Kyrie Irving on the floor together, pick your poison for the defense. Both are elite ball handlers and shot creators who can operate in pick-and-roll situations or in isolation. That kind of offensive versatility and shot creation would make the Knicks' offense virtually unstoppable in playoff situations when games slow down. The Madison Square Garden atmosphere and New York media market would also represent a homecoming of sorts for Kyrie Irving, who grew up in New Jersey and has always embraced playing in front of big audiences and intense media scrutiny. The Knicks desperately need that kind of star power and offensive creation to complement their defensive-minded roster construction. Adding Kyrie Irving would instantly make New York a legitimate championship favorite in the Eastern Conference. But there are obviously substantial concerns and red flags that the Knicks front office led by Leon Rose would need to thoroughly evaluate before pursuing Kyrie Irving. His injury history is genuinely concerning. This ACL tear represents just the latest in a long series of injuries that have limited his availability throughout his career. Can the Knicks really count on Kyrie Irving to be healthy for an entire playoff run? That's a legitimate question that medical evaluations would need to address. There's also Kyrie Irving's well-documented history of requesting trades and leaving situations when things don't go exactly as he wants. Would he commit long-term to the Knicks organization, or is there risk he requests another trade in a year or two if the situation doesn't meet his expectation? The Knicks would need ironclad assurances about his commitment before surrendering valuable assets. The off-court controversies that followed Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn would also need to be carefully considered. Can the Knicks organization handle the media circus that inevitably follows Irving? Would his presence create distractions that undermine team chemistry? These are legitimate organizational concerns that go beyond just basketball talent evaluation. From Dallas's perspective, trading Kyrie Irving despite the recent extension would represent acknowledgement that the pairing with Luka Doncic didn't work out as hoped before Luka was traded, and that building around Cooper Flagg represents a better path forward. Kyrie Irving's substantial contract and injury situation make him difficult to move. But if the Knicks are willing to take on that salary and risk, Dallas might jump at the opportunity to accelerate their rebuild and stockpile assets. The Mavericks would likely demand significant compensation. We're talking multiple first-round draft picks and potentially young players or prospects from the Knicks roster. But if New York believes Kyrie Irving is the final piece to championship contention, Leon Rose might be willing to pay that substantial price, despite the considerable risks involved. So that was the comprehensive SportsCenter breakdown of why the Kyrie Irving to Knicks trade speculation is legitimate. Despite him signing an extension, examining his ACL injury situation, Dallas's potential rebuild around Cooper Flagg, Kyrie's controversial history of demanding trades, and what this blockbuster deal would mean for New York's championship aspiration.